Welcome to the Morning Coffee Show. I'm Prince Hakeem.
I'm Amanda Love.
And today we have a great show for you. Before we get into the show, please go like and follow us on all our social media platforms. Click the button below so you go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well and follow us as well. So today we have a really cool topic. Hence the fact that we're dressed the way we are today.
And I got new hair.
And you have new hair. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's warming up.
It's warming up to me. When I first saw it, I was like...
in shock.
What? And then she was like, well, let me just show you. And, it looks nice. It looks nice now. It looked nice when I saw you. I've never seen it with like no hair.
It's short.
It's very short. But it's nice on you.
It's short and it's like low maintenance and yeah.
Not everybody can do short hair. You got to have the right head for that, So I guess it works.
I got a big face. Okay.
And it's red. It's like, as y'all can tell, it's red.
It'll die down a little bit later.
Well, the fact that we are all beautified today is based on the show that we're going to be talking about. And if you're on Netflix and you've been surfing through the channels, you may have ran across this particular show, and it's called...
The Goop Lab.
The Goop Lab.
GOOP, the Goop Lab. I love it.
Yeah.
Love that show.
Well, she put me onto the show, and I was like, she was telling me about it, and I was like, let me just see what this is about. Maybe we can get into it. And very interesting topics on there. They have a few different shows, but one in particular is about beautification, I guess what you want to say, right?
Yeah.
How people will try to reverse the age.
It kind of honed in on, the desire to stay youthful.
Which we're obsessed, by the way.
Exactly.
As a culture.
So the desire to stay looking young, specifically plastic surgery, the extent of what people do to look a certain way.
Which, some extremes. Now, they had a few different things that they did on this particular show. Some of you may have seen some really out there, outlandish type of things. People go on a knife all the time. They get this lifted, that tucked, that stretched, that pulled, that tightened, all those type of things. But on this particular episode, they did a few things I thought was very interesting. And one, I don't know what it's called, but they punch holes in your face.
Yes.
First of all, when you say that, and the doctor looks at you and say,
so I'm using my phone not
okay,
to,
no problem. Please look it up.
But
I don't know the particular name for it.
Take a look to see, because I saved a couple of things so we could go back and look at. They have these different type of face tightening treatments.
Imagine the doctor says to you, hey, I got this new process I'm gonna try. And it's part of me punching holes in your face. And
you make it sound so...
But what else would you say is happening here?
Okay, so it is... I don't know how else...
Even if you say it's face piercing, we don't pierce your face, it's still you putting a hole in my face.
So it's called a thread lift. A thread lift.
Right.
You can do it pretty much on any part of your body, because our skin is very it has a lot of elasticity.
There you go.
So the idea is that for the face, how they did it on this show was they gave her the needles for local anesthesia. They poke some holes here, and then they poke some holes up here, and there's a thread that goes through, and they basically put the thread through your face, pull it really tight, and you're kind of this number right here.
Like somebody's choking to death.
They're just pulling your skin up. But when I saw it on the show, I was like, this is really weird. But then I did some more research, and I found out that thread lifting is something you can pretty much do anywhere on your body. And because of the elasticity in our skin, it's one of those things where like if I pulled it tight and held it there for a really, really long time, it would stay. Those threads have collagen in the thread. They dissolve under your skin. So the idea is like you poke a hole. I think they use a needle or something. They poke a hole. You kind of have like a knot at one end. They poke a hole, pull the thread through, tighten you up, knot on that side, cut it off, and then eventually that string dissolves and you simultaneously have collagen injected under your skin because there's collagen in the string. So that kind of puts the bounce back in your skin.
First of all, now, I don't know where we, as a people, where have we went wrong? The fact that we're accepting the fact that you can basically put stitches on my face to tighten my face up that has collagen in it, and it works, by the way. Let's get this straight. It works. Like, it's not like a procedure that they're doing like Frankenstein that we don't know if it's if it works. But we talked about this off air. It's like, who's the first person that they convinced to let them stick holes in their face and pull their face back with these stitches?
And I'm glad Gwyneth Paltrow did that show. Like, the Goop Lab has a few episodes.
Yeah.
They have some awesome stuff, and they give like tangible examples. Like, they'll take you, like for that particular show, they take you into the office. Like, you get to see how the procedure's done, what it looks like, how she looked after, and they actually are like, they work. But that process, it's more of one of those things like, how has vanity gotten us to the point where we are willing to do just about anything?
No, that's anything. Now, there's a process, I don't know what it's called, when they put the bone marrow on the face.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
So
I don't remember what it's called, but I know exactly. So if you, on the Goop Lab also, on that same episode, they basically took her blood out, separated it was the plasma from the blood, and then put the plasma in a little tube, and you like scrubbed it, you Brillo patted it on your face, and her face was all red, and yeah. And they said, what did they tell her? 4 days, 4 days?
Yeah.
3 or 4 days, she would be glowing, right? But that first, when she was getting up, it looked like somebody had like taken a Brillo pad and scraped her face off.
Yeah. Like, she fell off a motorcycle going like 60 miles an hour. But it works. Like, so that's the crazy part, right? We do these things, but it works. Most cases it works. But, you know, we went from the days of putting creams on to moisturize the skin, drinking more water, getting more exercise, doing facial exercises. Have you ever heard of this thing called mewing? You know what mewing is?
I think I have heard of it.
It's a face exercise you do to lift up your face or whatever. When I first heard it, I'm like, what kind of weird stuff you into? But mewing is a real thing. It helps, and it shapes your jawline and stuff like that. But we do things that we can do on our own, but then we said, well, let's cut this open, shift this around, let's suck this out, let's put this there, let's lift that, let's take that out. And I was like, you know, at some point we are trying to live up to a standard of beauty that I don't know if it's tangible. I don't know if we can really do that, because eventually we have to get old, realize the fact that Father Time is not on our side, and wrinkles are gonna happen. You should be 75 with your boobs to the sky. It just doesn't make sense.
So we all age, right?
We do.
I'm not 25 anymore.
Right.
And I mean, for those who don't know me, I have no problem saying it. I'm 36.
She's young.
And you're an old man.
I'm not an old man. I'm seasoned. It's a difference.
But at 36, I have one child, and thank God I looked like a greasy, oily person when I was pregnant from like head to toe, because I was like, I'm not getting a stretch mark. And you know, I ate really healthy, and then I thought the more I did stuff like that, I was like, wow, this requires like a lot of time, a lot of attention, a lot of like when you're really, thinking about your skin, thinking about the air, thinking about the food, thinking about everything you do to your body every single day to keep it at like optimum functioning. That takes a lot of work, right? It was so difficult. And what happens, especially as a woman, after that point, having children or just aging and things, like you said, sagging, moving, I remember points in time, like I would get an invitation to a wedding and I'd be like, if I start running in a couple of days, like I work out hard for like a week, I'll be good to go. Mm-hmm. Now, if you invite me to a wedding in 6 months, I got 6 months. Like if I want to wear something special.
Fair enough.
And I don't look that bad, but it's not. It takes time, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not against plastic surgery of any kind. Like you do your thing if that's what you want to do. It is hard to like look at yourself every day and be like, I either need to be committed to making myself look a certain way if I want to look a certain way, or I could pay this little, whatever to get whatever it is I want, nip, tuck, put back, lift it up, put to the side, whatever that I want to do.
I'm not against like surgery and stuff like that. I just advise people to be very cautious and think about it because you don't want to be that person that's have to keep going back. And you see so many people get bad surgeries and then they have to get surgeries to correct that. And I'm like, it's a road you can go down that you don't know how far it goes. And just be very cautious of it. If it's something that you can do on your own, you got people that have lost a lot of weight on their own, but they have the excess skin and they have to get that tucked in and taken off and things like that. But there's surgeons that won't even operate on you if you don't get down to a certain weight. Like if you want to do the gastro bypass or any liposuction, they say, hey, we need you to get on a regimen first, change your diet, and then we can revisit it, because it doesn't really make sense for them to do it if you don't go right back to the same eating habits. It could be more stressful on your body and things like that. Ladies, by all means, if that makes you feel great by doing a little butt lift and tucking this in and sucking that in, because our bodies do betray us over time. It just is one of the situations you're like, why would you do this to me? As men, we get it too, right? We get the dad bods, right? We get the little love handles on the side, but there's no real way to prepare yourself for that. If you keep up with your body as much as you can when you're younger, if you have to do these surgeries, it may not be as invasive. You may not get the full on, let me put you out of like commission for like 4 to 6 weeks or longer, right? But what I'm saying is that as we get older, we are going to age, period.
Yeah,
right?
It is inevitable.
It's inevitable. I don't care how much, you can spend thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, but as life has it, you are going to age. You are going to wrinkle. They are going to fall. It all going to hang over at some point. And the best thing you can do is to exercise. Eat right, exercise. Your body is going to help you as you help it. But if you don't do those things and you say, well, I just keep getting surgeries, I respect the surgeries if it's things that are beneficial to the body. So if somebody says, hey, I need to get a breast reduction because they're just way too large, or give me back issues. I need to get some reduction in midsection. It gives me back issues. But the ones I find to be a little weird, like I said, I'm not judging. I'm not a judgy person. But when people get the lips injections and the lip surgeries and the nose surgeries, nose surgeries can work if you have a deviated septum, is what they call it.
You're talking about a rhinoplasty just to have a nose surgery.
If you just want to get that, I want the perfect nose, it's like.
But you're judging.
And that's not judging. I'm like
some people look at
I think it's weird.
And they're like, damn, my nose is so big.
I get it. I just think that's kind of weird. You were born with it, first of all. That's yours.
I think we all have those things. Like, literally, we all have those things. Like, I look in the mirror every day and I have my one little thing on my face and I'm like, I wouldn't go to the point of getting surgery. But so I always looked, of course, when I was little, right? You're looking at supermodels, magazines, and everybody has this, like, I have big, full lips. But lips have a shape, right? They have this little thing right here. When I put on my lipstick, I have to purposely do that because mine is not super defined. I used to literally think about going to a doctor and saying, can you give me a line? Like just the little swoop in the middle. Why? I don't know. Just because I wanted the little swoop. I just wanted it to be like everybody else's. I wanted to look at myself in the mirror and see, like, I have some definition right here. Like this little part that dips in on most, I wanted it to look
dimple?
like, I don't know, right here. Where
What is
your
it called?
lips, where your lips like actually
is that a
like.
cleft? What is that?
Who knows?
Lip dimple. We won't call that a lip. Your lip dimple.
I don't know.
But where do you? But that's the thing. Like you can look and look. Like I said, whatever makes you feel good. But I want people to stop and think too, as well, is that you got a definition of beauty from somewhere. You saw something.
Exactly.
It was the magazines. It was the shows.
And that's why I said I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, you're comparing yourself.
I just looked at myself one day and I was like, I want that.
Like, I want the lip dimple.
I've seen that. I want that too. And or I'm looking at myself feeling like something's missing, or like I don't have something that other people have that makes them beautiful.
Fair enough.
And it wasn't because, like, obviously I'm not thinking like that now, but it wasn't because anybody ever said it. It was just because you look at the world and you think about like people that, you know, today it'll be like somebody like Beyonce or Jennifer Lopez, that they look at them and they go, oh my God, they're so beautiful. And you look at them and you find attributes that you're like, these things are the definition of beauty. Something about them, right? It could be skin color, hair, it could be clothing, it could be shape, it could be whatever. And you run out and you get a Brazilian butt lift.
But that's the thing. Like, we should be able to look at ourselves and say,
And
definition of beauty is me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So my definition of beauty should be based off of what I see every day as myself. And we do look outside ourselves for many different things, but beauty is one. That's what we see. Think about this. We do all these things, right, to beautify ourselves for other people. Because we don't see ourselves every day.
We can't even see it.
We don't, unless you look in the mirror. I don't see how I look in the clothes that we have. I don't know how my haircut looks. I don't know if I got something in my teeth. I don't know, right? So I don't know how this nose really look unless I look in the mirror. And if you're always in the mirror all day long, that's a whole nother conversation you should have. So I'm just saying, like, try to figure out some things about yourself. The definition of beautiful is you, right? Is it things you can do to help yourself health-wise? Absolutely. But if it comes down to some things where it's like, I think I want that because I think that's beautiful. Well, look at yourself as beautiful for who you are. I just want people to do more of that. Now, if you go and do other things, that's fine. But I just want you to start with yourself first. Mm-hmm. Say, I'm beautiful. I'm just enhancing my beauty.
I would say, like, just do the work. It's not easy. It's not overnight. You know, I think surgery and these things are like quick fixes. Mm-hmm. And sometimes quick fixes are necessary for like a boost. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes if somebody says like, oh, I'm not happy with my body and I really want a boob job, they go get a boob job and then next thing you know, they're running every day because they feel better about themselves. And it kind of gave them that little inch of confidence where it's like, okay, now I really want to get myself healthy. It is what it is. Like, we're all different people. We all need different things, but just make sure you don't lose yourself in the process of what you understand beauty to be.
Yeah. Perfect. I couldn't say it better. That's perfect. Losing yourself. Because once you do one, it's like, oh, not too bad. What else can I do? And the next thing you know, you end up looking like Michael Jackson.
And your bank account's running. What's her name? Joan Rivers.
You look like a plastic
like a
person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't like seeing people like that because it's almost to the point where you don't know how they used to look. Like, I don't even know who you were prior to all this.
And it's what you said. It's like you do one thing and then you do something else to fix the one thing.
Yeah.
You know, like if I went in now and I'd be like, oh, my nose is too big for my face. I go do my nose and I'm like, my cheekbones are not big enough for my new nose.
Right. It's not proportion to the nose that I
because
just
who
got.
you are right now, like that's how you were born. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You start messing with stuff, moving stuff around. Next thing you know, it's like now I got big full lips, but my nose looks crazy. Now I got this, but my jaw looks crazy. You know, like whatever it is. Now I got a boob job. Well, I need to get a big butt to match my boob job. Like it just gets, and people get so convoluted and lost in what they think the ideal is, and there isn't one.
No, as I said, look at yourself first. You're beautiful in the way you are. Now, if you want to do some things to enhance it, okay, but just don't get carried away.
It's what's in here that matters.
That's right.
No,
It does. I mean, that's the biggest part, but let's face it, they can't look inside your body and see that. So
that was when I was little. My grandmother used to tell me, that's what's in your heart that counts. I was like, that's something ugly people say.
that's something. Oh,
The very
boy.
like 16-year-old version of me.
That's
not
something that ugly people say.
That's not real. Because now that I'm an adult and I actually meet people and talk to them, and I always say that like it's about the content of character.
Good.
But
Back then, wasn't the internet.
Look, I ain't have no sense. Okay. What's on the inside that matters? That's just something ugly people say.
Oh my God. If you're saying that, stop. That's horrible.
It is what's on the inside that counts.
It is.
But I mean, you got to do some research to get there.
Yeah.
And these days you can't see the outside anyway. Everybody's walking around with a mask.
Yeah. But your eyes, so much.
You got the best eyes I've ever seen.
I know you fine because right here, all this, I seen somebody only put makeup here because they know you. This is gonna get jacked up.
Makeup is gonna get all on the inside of your mask.
It's gonna get jacked up. So he just did this part, and then so when you took the mask off, it looks like an actual mask, like a robbery mask.
Thank God you have a family and you're married. Because imagine now you walk
trying
around
to date somebody, and you be like, so.
She could be snaggletooth, and you wouldn't even know.
Real busted, ladies, men too. You've been chewing on rocks, but all this looks fly, right? Like
so beauty at this point, it's like
you gotta get to know
null and
somebody.
void. Now you have to be a good person.
Yeah. Because I can just throw a mask on and become anybody.
That's God's way of evening the playing field.
Yeah, we all got an opportunity to score big this time, baby. Well, we are towards the end of the show. Thank y'all for tuning in. Once again, love yourself. Look inside. It's not just what ugly people say. It's what real people say. Look at yourself. Look how beautiful you are. Go check out that show on Netflix, Goop.
The Goop Lab.
The Goop Lab. I love it, man. I'm gonna go watch the rest of them. We should talk about some of this other stuff.
We have to.
They talk about vajayjays on there.
That's the next. We're gonna do that one.
You wanna do the vajayjay one?
Are we gonna show pictures of different
Yeah,
vajayjays?
I'm down with showing vajayjay pictures.
They have a bunch of different vajayjay pictures on there.
Ladies, I think you should look at your vajayjay every now and then. Like once in a while, grab a mirror, sit in front of another mirror, and look at your vajayjay.
I mean, they talk about it.
You know, I don't know if it's a thing.
That's a good question. Like, how often do you get to see your vajayjay and other people's? Because nobody's looking down there.
Do y'all see when y'all had these sleepovers? I imagine that y'all look at each other vajayjays, but that's probably not the case.
Not at all. Not at all.
I'm a guy, so I'm thinking.
You think people are just sitting around?
Hey, let me see yours.
What?
I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Guys don't do that.
Speaking of beauty, there's a piece on there. I know we're getting out of here.
Yeah.
But there is a piece on there that talks about women that and we're gonna check it out. This is research. Women that bleach their vajayjays, like people that do porn and stuff like that they bleach the color of their vajayjay, so it's brighter, whiter, pinker, whatever. The lips, like if people that have big lips, that they cut them off, the vaginal rejuvenation stuff. Like there's all kinds of things out there. Like speaking of beauty, that's a whole nother thing. But again, the standard in your mind, it's in your mind.
Ladies, stop touching it. Leave the vajayjay alone. No bleach, no Lysol, soap and water. Leave it alone.
Maybe some summer's eve if you're getting
a little. What I'm saying is, don't cut nothing off. Don't reduce none of that. That's necessary. Just understand from a guy standpoint. Don't. All of them look different. Just a little. They all do the same thing. All right, is what it is. But we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah.
We'll have pictures. We're not gonna bring nobody in and show you they were JJ.
No, Betsy Dotson did it.
If we can find somebody who will show us David JJ, we can talk about it. We should bring a doctor in, like a gynecologist, and say, you have a patient that would like to show David JJ on camera. I don't think they will let us show that. I don't think they will let us. That would be kind of. All right, y'all, we're going to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you go and like and share and subscribe to the channel right here at the bottom. You can find us on all social media platforms at The Morning Coffee, on Facebook at Morning Coffee. And you can hit me up on Instagram at P. Hakeem.
I'm Manda Love everywhere.
Erware.
Erware.
Just like that. We appreciate y'all. We'll catch you next time.